This is Tim Reed, Richard, in Virginia. It's back. I found a picture of Georgie.
All these years later, people are still coming up and talking about that it has this lasting effect and impact.
That movie scared the beep out of me. Like, I couldn't sleep. I hate clowns. I hate spiders. Like, can you go near a drain?
The chords it strikes among all of us, we're all human beings and we were all children once.
There's symbolism everywhere in the writing that Stephen King created.
He came back with these two giant 6-pound containers containing the type manuscript in its earliest stages. When I read the opening, I went, I'll do it.
A lot of people tell me that it poisoned their childhood.
It scared the hell out of millions of people.
And I would always think you shouldn't have been watching it.
You're looking for kids that have a little bit of a soul, kids that have an adult feel to them so they can handle what's coming.
Our director came to me and he said, Jim, I'm losing it with these kids.
We got in a lot of trouble. We were kids, both on set and off.
We were dropping water balloons off of our balcony onto people's convertibles.
If it were filmed now with that same group of kids, there would be a lot of them who had like diagnoses, maybe ADHD, oppositional defiance. Some of them just would not shut up.
Emily was a professional young actress.
I had a crush on Jonathan Brandis. I thought he was pretty cute.
They made him put a mole on his cheek. Oh, the poor kid. That's terrible.
At that time, what was really popular was to find the iconic TV actors that would be ensemble players.
Hang tough, champ, you're gonna make it.
I was a huge fan of John Ritter. He was a massive influence of mine.
I realized, okay, well, he's cool. He's not just John Ritter the actor, he's John Ritter, my peer, and maybe, if I'm lucky, my buddy.
You're dead, fat boy.
The only source of disappointment for me was the fact that we couldn't go as raw and as bold as they did in the book.
People will always remember Henry Bowers.
Someone pay you up.
One of the reasons that I think it's a cult favorite is because of Tim Curry.
Aren't you going to say hello?
I'm used to the idea of cult movies.
How about that?
So I'm glad that it's having a life.
He brought more to the character than was written on the page.
He had just done Legend, and Rob Bottin had literally casted every inch of his body. He wasn't anxious to have his life cast done again.
Tim could act through a manhole cover because he has that kind of charisma and presence.
He would basically just hang out in his cast chair, chain smoking, in full makeup. And whenever he saw us, he would just go, "I don't want it!"
And all of a sudden, I feel breathing on my neck. I just slowly turn like this. Tim, full makeup, of course, goes, boom.
I always feel like somebody's watching me.
He had a tremendous impact on growing people's fears about clowns.
The mythology of clowns being scary has exponentially grown over the last 20 years.
Sightings of a mysterious clown have been creeping out some people in Staten Island.
Media sites have been abuzz with stories of a mysterious and creepy clown.
I do feel this book and this movie had some influence on that.
At the time, John Wayne Gacy had just happened, so we're dealing with people being afraid of clowns.
There was a sort of mayhem involved with being a clown.
The portrayal of Pennywise probably went from, yeah, we're gonna have some clowns over for little Johnny's birthday party, to probably not.
When you have a project that is such a good story and has such a good lead actor, it's really hard to screw it up musically.
He just made magic with that score, so much so that he won an Emmy for the score.
We were certainly aware that we were doing a horror movie for television, and back then we were very limited to what you could show.
We were breaking new ground because I don't remember before any kind of material like this.
It allowed a younger audience to view it as well.
Stephen King's It, starting tomorrow.
Back then, you had to do everything practically.
Well, let's see who's here.
He built a false neck, so it looked like my head was sitting flat on the rack. And I'm just going, can we please just shoot the thing? I need to get this off my neck. Lying there like this, and then it's like, I just wanted to kill somebody.
They tried to crazy glue mealy worms to my face. They wouldn't stick, so we had to lose the mealy worms.
The Chinese restaurant scene was sort of our scene out of Alien.
I remember going, what? All this and it's a spider?
Oh man, come on. You can do better than that rubber spider.
I thought the spider was fantastic, to tell you the truth. The way it looked in the shop was really cool.
We get a lot of shit for the spider. And I'm like, hey, Stephen King wrote it.
I have never been on a show since working on it that's had so many on-set special effects accidents to the crew members.
They would insert me through the rear of the spider, pull off the abdomen, and slide me up into it.
He had some nice bruises.
We had champagne ideas and a beer budget.
It's like I tell people, hey, I could have been fighting a turtle in outer space. You know, would you like that better?
Pop culture has taken ownership of this miniseries.
But I never realized that it would go as far as it's gotten.
I didn't really pay much attention to the impact that I was having. I was just something I was doing as a kid.
It's talking some pretty serious talk about what it's like for each of us to be a child. The fun and the scary parts.
Down here we all flow.